Hey guys, this is Julian from the Binary Lab and the Forex Lab also. So this week I want to very quickly give you guys a little bit of a quick trading plan, game plan strategy for your trading. Okay, so I want to talk about I want to talk specifically to the Forex guys first. So this week there is we're looking at the end of the trends. The end of the downtrend, the end of the uptrend for various pairs. Okay, so a lot of pairs have been in a falling knife or like a skyrocket, whatever you want to call it. And it's very important that this week we gotta find the point where it has established an equilibrium. And it's very easy to get tricked out, and what's going to happen is that you prematurely go counter trend. I mean, everyone says do contrarian. So Warren Buffett is a great contrarian investor, blah blah. But the problem with that is that if you go contrarian too early, you're just going to get burnt. So how do you not get burnt? Okay, under the circumstances, it's not enough to just use divergence and all kinds of stuff. You need to use more factors. You need to use like at least a couple of key indicators, and as much as divergence can get into a trade very early. I'm sure some of you have watched my divergence videos, and please watch them if you haven't. I mean, it is going to be very helpful if you use divergence to enter your trades, but let that not be your only tool. Okay, so use divergence to identify an area of reversal, big reversal, and after you do that, you want to use like key support levels, support resistance indicators to identify like where the entry point should be. So there should be some confirmation that the market has moved in the direction that you're planning on. So if you're planning on getting into like a call setup, then you want to have ensured that there is some like engulfing patterns that have already appeared on the charts. If you're going to be bearish, you want to see that some bearish engulfing has happened, at least with some pin bars. Okay, and don't just if you usually like to trade with a single bar signal, let's say a reverse. I teach my students the pin bar reversal a lot, but it's not something that you want to use right now. Okay, so you want to use like maybe a pin bar reversal plus 1 or 2 candles in the correct direction to enter the trade, and preferably those 1 or 2 candles should also cross like a support. You're going to lose out a little bit of opportunity with the pips, but at least it's going to prevent you from getting stopped out repeatedly, because even if you budget yourself like 2% per trade, and you're just going to lose 2% and 2% and 2%, what's the point, right? So the whole point is to okay, I mean, you can go for a bigger, more generous stop loss that is going to be okay, ideally you should have, if you are trying to get a reversal from a strong downtrend, you want to have like a higher low than the previous. That should be your establishing one already. So you can use the higher low as your support. All right, just to safeguard against volatility, just put like a 10 pips buffer or something like that. If you're trading pairs like the GJ, it gets a bit crazy sometimes, you want to put maybe a 16 pips buffer. So this is going to be your game plan. And then if you're taking something that's on the way down, like the Euro GBP for instance, I think that's a really good one. Wait for the downtrend establish, and like a lot of people tend to get caught in they think that the reversal's already begun, but they're actually just in the ABC part of Elliott wave. So Elliott wave goes in something like this. It's like like 1 2 3 4 5, and then it's like a ABC ABC ABC. It can keep going on and on until it's ready to go for another 1 2 3 4 5 in a direction, or 1 2 3 4 5 again. So sometimes you get this very often, and people get caught up with it. Like sometimes what they thought is going to be a reversal happens to be a part of a H&S, either reverse H&S or H&S. So let's avoid that from happening. And the way to avoid that is obviously, like I said, use pivots, use support resistances, go out in the bigger time frame charts, the H4, D1, and so on. Find your setup on a higher time frame, drop down a lower time frame for an entry. This is what I recommend. So you will like how I'm doing it in the Forex Lab and as part of Project Big Pips, right? some of the biggest opportunities that we're looking at in the webinar that I gave to my members this morning. We're giving about 100-150 pips as a stop loss. So that's a rough guide, okay? What kind of profits we're aiming for? We're aiming for anything between like 400 and 800. Depending on the opportunity that you are looking at, you may not be able to, like I said, if you may be thinking, yeah, shit, we're gonna waste opportunity. You know, why don't we catch right at the top? Well, this is not a channel, my friends. This is like a falling knife setup, or it's like, you know, or it's like it's been rising for some time, and it's been rising for hundreds of pips, and you're waiting for some reverse. So you're not going to use the same kind of setup as that of a channel bounce. So that's why it's necessary to do the things I mentioned to you. And then the other aspect is that, like I said, you know, if you're so concerned about the risk reward, well, then don't pick the ones that have you know, shit risk reward. Okay, for example, you know, I'm not even looking at the USD JPY, or the Euro USD in this example, because I think that I mean it's moved too early. It's moved too early, so the opportunity is like half gone. It's like a deflate. You're trying to ride a half inflated hot air balloon, right? Or you're trying to wear a half deflated float. So what's the point, right? So cherry pick your opportunities. If you cannot get into as many opportunities as you like, then simply reproportion your risk so that you can take bigger advantage of the opportunities that you have. All right, does that make sense? So finally, you know, I want to share with you that there is a way. Even if you, let's say you find that, okay, I don't want to do this pair and this pair, for example, like some of GJ, that is too risky, that is too much volatility, you know, can we do something else? Yeah, sure, you can do something else. But if you're going to do something else, I highly recommend that you know, you can use a concept that I'm teaching my students, which is called the reverse martingale technique. Okay, the reverse martingale technique is not about increasing your risk of a loss during the trade. It is about actually increasing your profit while decreasing, scaling your profit while decreasing the chance of losing in a trade. So that is the reverse martingale concept. Okay, this is something that I teach inside of the Forex Learning Group as part of Project Catch Big Pips. So if you're not already in the group, head over to the Facebook page, message the admin, hit them up, just type in there Forex Learning Group, and basically they'll give you the information you need to get started, and you can get into Forex Learning Group and start learning the things that you need to do in order to start catching big pips. This is the best time if you've been sitting on your ass for a very long time wondering, hey, should I start trading this or all that? Well, okay, you might be wondering, in the beginning of this video I introduced myself, Julian Wong, Binary Lab, Forex Lab, and so what happened to binary information? Well, right now a lot of pairs are in a consolidation, so get ready to trend right once the trends break out of these consolidation zones. In the meantime, when it's consolidating, you can do all the you know, the reversal stuff that you like. I'll be putting up a video where I'm going to speed up my yesterday's webinar session, my binary group as well, and you can see different ways that we trade. And once again, you can contact my page about how we trade it. And then finally, you know, like if you're just doing binary, why not also look at Forex? Because you're leaving money on the table if you're not. Brexit doesn't happen all the time, and this is one of the biggest market movements that I've ever seen in a very long time. So just get in on the opportunity, and you know, if you want to get the most out of it, catch big pips, join the group. So head over to my Facebook page, the Forex. It's facebook.com/Forex Lab Official, and message admin. Just type there Forex Learning Group, and she'll give you the information to get started. Bye for now.